Alright, in family, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, your home for scary movie reviews and horror-related content videos every single Wednesday and Saturday. Thank you so much for joining me today. You look so nice. And it must be Saturday, which means we're going to be talking about some horror movies. So let's do it. I love Saw. Should we rank these films in another video? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, in this video, I'm going to be going through each of the Saw films, including Jigsaw and Spiral, and telling you which trap was my favorite and why. Warning, there are spoilers in this video, so proceed with caution. I also would like to give a very special shout out to my sister who helps me with the notes of this video because she is the biggest Saw fan that I know, and probably the biggest Saw fan ever. So starting right off with the original Saw film, which was released in 2004. This film stars the iconic Leigh Whannell, who also wrote the film alongside James Wan. And Whannell revealed in an interview that Adam and Lawrence were originally going to be trapped in an elevator, which kind of brings me into my favorite trap from this film, the bathroom. Yes, this is my favorite. I know the bear trap is very iconic, but the bathroom trap with the electric shackles, the heart toilet, the tapes, the tub, and Jigsaw not dead on the floor, and the door sliding shut at the end of the film, you can't get any better than that. Alright, so moving right into Saw 2, which was released in 2005. This film has a medley of actors, including Beverly Mitchell and Donnie Wahlberg. And this film was also written by Leigh Whannell. What a king. So my favorite trap from this film was the razor box. Poor Addison stuck her hand right up in there and was just dying of frequent blood loss. This trap definitely made me do this when I saw it. And I know there are so many good traps in this film, like the needle pit and the furnace and the house as a whole. But the razor box just gets me because considering Addison, all she had to do was look at the other side of the box where a lock was located with the key already sticking out. I mean, that's why this trap is my favorite, because I automatically saw it as soon as the scene started. And I know a lot of people harp on this scene with Addison, but you also have to remember that she had been contaminated with a lot of nerve gas at this point. All right, so moving right on to Saw 3, which was released in 2006, and the return of our King Adam. And once again, this film was written by Whannell and Wan. And fun fact, Donnie Wahlberg went to great lengths to tell people that he would not be appearing in this film, even to the extent of releasing a press release. This was done in order to make his appearance in the film a surprise. Spicy. So my favorite trap from this film is the classroom trap. And it's actually the first one that we see. The poor guy had 11 chains with the metal rings just all over his body. I mean, the one through his jaw, are you kidding me? This one made me squirm when I saw it. Another trap that I actually really liked from this one was the angel trap with Detective Carey, which was oddly pretty. Gosh, I am so weird. And there's also the pig vat trap, but this one was just a little bit too disgusting for me personally. I don't mind a squirm, but me almost wanting to throw up and not watch it, that's kind of where I draw the line. Let me know what your favorite trap from the first 3 films was and why in the comments down below. Moving right into Saw 4 that was released in 2007. And this is where we get some new names for the writers. Patrick Melton, Marcus Dunstan, and Thomas Fenton. And this was because Whannell felt the pressure from the studio to keep pumping out these scripts that were kind of met with mixed reviews from the studio. And apparently they didn't even use half of his trap ideas. I still want to know what all those traps were. We do know that one of the traps he wanted was a person to be slowly bent backwards. And that was changed to the rack, which is a trap that we saw in Saw 3. Anyways, my favorite trap from Saw 4 is the spike trap. This one was just so good metaphorically because, as we know, the husband Rex was extremely abusive to his wife Morgan. And the only way for her to physically get out of her relationship, she had to pull out the spikes, killing her husband. This test was probably one of my favorites overall because Jigsaw knew that the only way that some people will change is if they faced death. Moving right into Saw 5, that was released in 2008, and we have the same team of writers. This one was fun for me because it starred Julia Benz, who I know is Rita from Dexter. And this is the only Saw film that doesn't have a graphic of a buzzsaw on either the DVD or the Blu-ray disc. Okay, so my favorite trap from Saw 5 is the 10 pints of sacrifice. This trap was the fourth and final part of the Fatal Five's trial in the catacombs. This is where they learn they should have worked together the whole time. Jigsaw, I see what you did there. It also ties back into the idea, which is Jigsaw using blood as a sacrifice. I liked this trap because it culminated the entire film, and it was so simple, but of course, with two people, tricky. Moving right into Saw 6, which was released in 2009. This is probably my favorite Saw film of the entire series. Writers were also the same, and one fun fact about this is this film was actually banned in Thailand. I also think that William was one of the most genuine characters throughout this entire series, because I think he truly felt remorse for what he did. Okay, so my favorite trap from this film is the steam maze. I hate mazes. Like, I don't do like corn mazes and things. I think I'm just really traumatized from watching The Shining. And this is just another example of how people need to work together to survive. The whole time that I was watching this scene, I was just yelling at Debbie to move faster. But then we see that Jigsaw is kind of just doing them all dirty because the key is actually inside of William to get Debbie out of her, kill trap. Okay, so moving on to Saw 7 or Saw the Final Chapter, or Saw 3D. This was released in 2010 with the same team of writers. Now, this film I was not a really big fan of, but we did get the return of Lawrence Gordon, and he kills it, literally. We also find out something really interesting from the first Saw film. So once Lawrence cuts his foot off and crawls out of the bathroom in the first Saw, Jigsaw actually saved him and cauterized his foot, and Lawrence became his apprentice. In this film, we also have the legendary Chester Bennington. Another reason why I wasn't a really big fan of this film was because Jigsaw's whole life goal, his whole premise, his whole life's work is to essentially trap guilty, bad people or people who do not appreciate their life. And in this film, at the end, Jigsaw uses Joyce, Bobby's wife, who is 100% innocent. And Bobby is just a lying little turd, and she ends up dying in the brazen bull trap, which is not my favorite trap. My favorite trap from this film is actually the silence circle. This one was so nasty and so gruesome. In taking into account that she cannot scream as the key with the fishing hook is being pulled out of her mouth, made me squirm. Then we have the metal rods going into her throat, which was also very nasty. It also feels like an Amanda-esque trap, considering the extremely low rate of survival. Because even if Nina was able to get out, she probably would have had a lot of internal bleeding. But Lawrence, sir, we applaud you. Moving on to Saw 8 or Jigsaw. This film was released in 2017, and we have a whole new team of writers. Now, I did like this one, but considering it's a prequel to Saw 1, sorry, not sorry, you can't outdo the first Saw. Another reason why this film didn't really sit well with me is because I felt like it was more of a cash grab than anything. They had 7 films before this of pure insanely twisted characters and plots just to make this film that essentially had nothing to do with the rest of them. Also, if you guys watched my Saturday video where I did all the escape room films, 2017 is when these escape room films started to get popular. So maybe there's a correlation there, maybe not, because essentially all of the Saw films are really horrific escape rooms. So my favorite trap from this film is the cycle trap. It was super nasty and like made me hug myself when I watched it. I really also enjoyed that we got to see the spiral that was finally used in one of Jigsaw's designs. Also, when Mitch did succumb to the trap, it's nasty as like his body parts just like spill out and blood shoots everywhere. Also, this scene made me laugh, like Ryan chilling on the haystacks and he's just like, what? Hello? And last but not least is Spiral. It's a spin-off of the series, and I actually really liked this one. So at this point, Jigsaw is dead, gone, buried, but we have a new killer who is essentially doing exactly what Jigsaw used to do, but his target is now cops. My favorite trap from this film is the finger trap. This one was just straight up nasty, but also, dare I say, poetic in a way? Because the corrupt cop, Finch, pulled the trigger to take away an innocent life, and now he must sacrifice all of his fingers to save his own life. Also, bravo to the character that they casted to play this part, because his screaming pains just added the chef's kiss to the whole thing. So there you have it, guys. My favorite Saw traps from every single film. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite trap was, what your favorite Saw movie is, or your favorite character, or just say hi. Also, guys, did you know that they might be making another Saw? Saw 10. Yeah, well, hopefully. It seems as though the script is done, but we don't have a green light from the studios yet. So the Spiral screenwriter, Josh Stolberg, took to Twitter to comment on the script for the upcoming installment. And he said that this script is his favorite of the 3 Saw movies that he has written. So, fingers crossed. Can we also please get a round of applause for the underrated horror writer Lee Winnell? I mean, he gave us Saw 1 through 3 and also Invisible Man. I would love to see him maybe like come back for Saw 4 as a writer, but considering the script seems to be done, my dreams are probably crushed, but maybe one day he'll return to the series. Alright friends, that's gonna be it for me and this video. And if you like these kinds of videos, I have an entire playlist dedicated to horror movie reviews and horror movie related topic videos in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. And you can follow me on all my social medias if you want to. And I'll see you guys soon.